the channel in the beginning of the year for several months. But the time when we provide guidance at the time, we will see some stabilization there. That's why we're able to provide a relatively narrow guidance at the time, 25 billion. We continue to see that stabilization. So if you look at, part of the reason why we're able to do better is because, when the ECPM stabilized, we're able to grow our revenues again, resume our growth in revenues, because our traffic continues to increase. So even though our user base, if you look at the overall public MAU this quarter, it was dropped by almost 30 million. That's mainly coming from the game operation. For our non-game apps, the YouTube applications, we continue to see very steady user base. In fact, as we shift, some of our marketing dollar to new content product, we have to be more strategic about where we spend our sales marketing dollars for our existing product. We begin to shift our resources, our dollar to the developed market. And in fact, you see a small increase in our user base in North America and Europe. So those are areas that actually help us to generate revenues. For Facebook, I think we'll continue to, as we go into this quarter, we continue to see stabilization there. So, but as I mentioned, our recoveries are driven by a number of other initiatives, including refreshing our product layout, including refreshing our app layout, as well as working very hard with all the partners, including Facebook and other channel partners like AppMob and Twitter and Yahoo, as well as sort of like reshuffle our direct sales force incentive program, as well as pricing structure for our direct sales force. So all these have a near-term impact. Our longer-term strategy is to strengthen our direct sales force in North America and Europe, to continue to diversify our revenue sources. And in the same quarter, as we mentioned last time, we hired Todd Mueller from Yahoo, who was the VP of Regional Finance for Yahoo in North America. And he is taking the initiative to help us to build out and strengthen that direct sales force over there. I think for the North America and European direct sales force, I think the biggest bottleneck right now is actually hiring the expert or the people that actually know how to sell mobile advertising well in those regions. So Todd should be able to help us to accelerate that, including the hiring process. So we would like to see a stronger direct sales force in place before the fourth quarter sort of peak season for advertising in North America and Europe. The longer-term initiative, as we mentioned, is our content-driven product initiative. That is an initiative to help us to move to the next level of user engagement. When you look back from our IPO, we always mentioned to folks, we generally have a three-stage monetization model. We use YouTube applications and security software to amass a very large user base, which we do. We have more than 600 million user base. And then we like to convert that user base into traffic. And today, if you look at the conversion, we're focusing on using content to convert that user base into user traffic. And if you look at content product itself, not only have high engagement level, but the monetization opportunities are also significantly greater. Just because users are more engaged, they have more time spent, and there's more opportunity for us to extract value from those users. So those are sort of like the short-term, intermediate, and the longer-term initiatives taken to sustain and rejuvenate our growth next year.
Could you just provide a little more color around the Facebook relationship? So my understanding is you're selling mobile advertising through Facebook Audience Network.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So what was the cause of the slowdown there? Was it more an impression issue, a pricing issue?
Yeah. So as I mentioned, mainly ECPM have three factors driving it, right? View rate, the click-through rate, as well as the CPC. And for Facebook, there's a lot of speculation, because obviously there's no one can give you a definitive answer. What we can guess is that most likely reason for that slowdown is because for Facebook as a whole, it have seen very significant increase in traffic that they use to monetize. So if you look back for Facebook, over the past couple of years, they only monetize the Facebook app itself. But over the past couple of quarters, they begin to monetize Instagram. I think Instagram is sizable user traffic properties in North America and Europe. And so Facebook as a whole will also see significant increase in the total traffic. But also over time, they'll see more publisher working with Facebook Audience Network. So overall, you see a pretty significant increase over the last couple of quarters in terms of the number of user traffic being monetized through Facebook, not just Facebook Audience Network, but Facebook as a whole. And so, because Facebook as sort of serves as a market, right? Like they are sort of like reselling market, and the pricing freeway set by the market supply and demand. So with that significant increase in supply in ad inventory, that system, we will suspect that there was a reset in the equilibrium in that system over the past couple of quarters. Once it's stabilized, we should see some improvements, just like we have seen over the past couple of years as the demand for mobile advertising continue to grow. We should continue to see some improvement both in freeway and also in the CPC pricing. But again, it's a marketplace, so it's very hard to exactly know what are the factors that are driving a lot of different things. But that's our main speculation. We know that there's some in the market that some people suspect that there's two things happen. One is that they say the algorithm have changed for advertiser score at Facebook, and that's impacting us. But if I recall correctly, the last significant change in the algorithm change in our advertiser score was back in October last year. And October last year, October, November, December, we continue to see very significant increase in revenues coming from Facebook and other channels. It could be that at that time the seasonality was strong and it masked the impact of the algorithm change. But we suspect that if there's impact, it's not the main driver for that.
What was the algorithm change?
It's an advertiser score, so it gives basically some approximation of how well the ROI is for the advertising for the advertiser, so that they can gauge if they should invest advertising dollar in certain platform or slot. And another one is that people suspect that our product have not been performing well. The ROI for advertisers was not good, and also we see the demand, decrease in demand. But again, I'm a little bit more skeptical about that. The main reason is because obviously we have been doing that for more than almost 2 years. Shouldn't be a sudden change in ROI for advertiser. Second part is that as you know, all the publishers that work with Facebook Audience Network have some sort of criteria. So the user or the inventory that been put into Facebook Audience Network, those users have to be a Facebook user because advertisers have to use Facebook's targeting system. So if your advertiser is targeting the same group of user using the same targeting mechanism and then generate the same performance, which is a click, how do they come up with a different ROI? So it's I don't know how it happens, but it's possible. But but I don't think that's the main reason. So it's not something that we think is the main reason. Okay. You have any questions?
So then when it sounds like you're going to put more resources into building out direct sales force, so rely less on third-party platforms. It seems like we're seeing a lot of people move away from direct sales forces. I guess how do you think about how much you should pay one of these people and what the return on their salary or whatever is going to be?
Absolutely. So it's not that we try to stop working with the third-party network. We continue to work very hard with them. And then if you look at our growth over the past few years in market like North America and Europe and outside of China, our growth was mainly driven by working with those third-party platforms because we have a relatively small sales force. They are great in helping to gain access to advertisers, particularly for app and game distributions. That's very strong for those networks. But those networks are relatively weak in terms of e-commerce and relatively weak in terms of brand advertising. And those are more suitable for direct sales force. For us, looking forward to for more sustained growth, we'd like to move more into e-commerce verticals. We'd like to move more into the brand vertical. So that's part of the reason why we want to have own direct sales force. Obviously, the second part is that when you have your own direct sales force and you have the direct customer